ever struggled with something that you've prayed and you fasted, you asked God, you saw godly counsel, you've read books, I mean, you've done all that you can think of to overcome that very one thing, but yet it's still there? Well, what if I challenge you that it's not necessarily something you're going to find anywhere else but within yourself? For instance, have you ever thought about that maybe it's a change in behavior? For instance, the very thing that I struggled with was anxiety. And how do I overcome anxiety? I quoted scriptures, I prayed, I fasted, I did all those very things that I just stated, and it just seemed like I wasn't overcoming it. In fact, the anxiety seemed so overwhelming and overpowering, it almost seemed stronger than myself. So how am I supposed to overcome this? Well, God showed me that I had to slow down my thoughts, and really, I had to ask myself, what am I thinking? One of the things that I was thinking was I had this fear of what are people going to say? What are they going to do? What are they going to think about me? What if they criticize me? What if this? What if that? What if? All these what ifs. And in fact, that was the very thing that was stopping me from doing all these videos. I really had to find out what those lies are. And even if I believed them, what does God say? So I wrote down all those lies, and then I found the truth of God for every single lie that I was believing. And I chose, regardless of how I felt, to believe in those truths and just step out and do it. It may not be perfect the first time, but I knew that it eventually, once it becomes part of my habit, part of my character, no longer will those lies be a part of my life because I've replaced them and I've erased those lies. Ever so often, sometimes they try to come back, but I choose to believe in the truth. A lot of the things that we need to overcome in our lives is basically a change in behavior. We have to realize and we have to recognize and identify what is it in our behavior that continuously takes us down that path of anxiety, and not that takes you on a different path of peace and calm and trust in the Lord. And so those were some of the things that I had struggled with. So I'm going to challenge you. What is that very thing that you've asked God that you've prayed about? What is that very thing that you're struggling with? I challenge you to ask God, what is that change in behavior that I need to make within myself? What is it that I'm telling myself? What is it that's stopping me from overcoming? If it's depression, are you putting yourself down? Really ask yourself, what am I telling myself? And replace those lies with God's truth. Now, there's nothing wrong with seeking godly counsel to find out that help, but what I've always recognized that it's application and tool to help you overcome those things. So check it out. Pray to God, ask Him to show you those very things that is stopping you from overcoming, and see what He'll do.